So today I'm going to be doing some painting, and then I'm going to use a situation that's happening in the influencer world right now that I want to understand a little bit better, and I want to learn from the situation. So the thumbnail might have been a bit misleading. I'm sorry. This is me. Yes, I will be giving my opinions, my thoughts, and everything. But also, the whole concept of this video is more so to learn about what is actually happening. I was live just now, but then I got a call. So I'm going to restart everything and then I will talk to you guys. But mostly, this is going to be a ChatGPT based chat. So, for those of you that don't know what's happening, let me play that part for you. I've uploaded the whole transcript to YouTube.
The core drama. James.
Wait. So I've taken the transcript of Kiki Chanel's video and I've uploaded that to YouTube, to ChatGPT, and asked for a summarization of what happened firstly, but then also I've asked what can we learn. Well, I'll get to that point next.
Absolutely. The short version first, because this situation became massive and messy very quickly. The core drama. James Charles posted a video on TikTok reacting to a DM he received from a woman who had apparently lost her job after the Spirit Airlines layoffs. She sent him a GoFundMe link asking for help. Instead of ignoring it privately, James filmed himself mocking the message publicly. Age group layout, Caro image TED 2 were lines like, "Welcome to the real world, get another job," calling her lazy, saying she should spend time applying for jobs instead of DMing influencers, saying she never followed or supported him, implying she felt entitled to his money. People thought it sounded aged, out of touch, and especially insensitive during a bad economy job market. Why people got extra angry? This was not just, open quote, James doesn't want to donate, close quote. Most people actually agree nobody is entitled to influencer money. The problem was how he handled it. People felt he publicly humiliated someone already struggling, laughed at them, assumed they were lazy, and used a desperate person for content. That's what made the backlash explode. Then, the situation got worse. Instead of apologizing immediately, James initially doubled down. He basically said he stands by his point. People lack work ethic. People are too quick to ask for help. The message felt transactional, and people were twisting his words. That second response made people even angrier because I were offended, but I'm still right. And her entity, known celebrity Kiki Chanel, commentary, YouTuber, image group, layout, Kiki Chanel v. image and argument was basically, open quote, James Charles has become completely detached from normal people and sees followers as consumers instead of humans, close quote. She repeatedly criticized his privilege, his lack of real-world work experience, his attitude toward unemployed people, and his obsession with whether someone follows supports him. She also argued influencers create fake closeness with audiences, but then become hostile when audiences ask for real help. #. Then Jackie Aina entered the conversation, entity, known celebrity, Jackie Aina, beauty creator and entrepreneur, made a viddy Jackie Aina D, an industry peer, and someone James could not easily dismiss. After Jackie's criticism, James posted a much more serious apology admitting the video was privileged, rude, unnecessary, and that he should have ignored the message instead. Why this blew up so much? This controversy touched a nerve because it combined Sir wealth, class frustration, parasocial relationships, internet entitlement, and influencer arrogance. A lot of people already feel, open quote, influencers are rich because ordinary people support them, close quote. So hearing, open quote, why would I help you? You don't even support me, close quote, felt very ugly to audiences emotionally. The big debate online became side A, James is cruel, elitist, narcissistic, and sees followers as wallets. Via side B, people are not entitled to celebrities' money and influencers are constantly emotionally manipulated online. And honestly, that is the real conversation underneath all of this.
Okay, so that is the scoop of what is going on. So I then proceeded wait, actually, before I learn about this, I want to actually tell you guys my opinion before learning about this. I've put my words into ChatGPT and asked to reword it because ChatGPT understands me as a person, and I never want to put, like, I'm in an era where I'm really learning from how other people get backlash on the internet, and I really don't want to put myself in a position where people misunderstand what I mean to say. So I've just asked ChatGPT to reword my words in the sense of what I mean, because at this point ChatGPT understands me a lot and how I speak and how I say things. So I felt that it is very okay for me to do that. I also do that with some like people, like if I need a reply to someone and it needs to be professional or it needs to be this or that or the other, I often put my words into ChatGPT and ask it to reword so that there's no miscommunication or misrepresentation of me. So I commented this on Kiki's video. I made a previous comment, but I deleted it. But I think the comment was basically like, this was so not for me. Like, this video, I am not into this. Like, I feel like you don't understand James Charles. And I feel like you need to understand his personality before you make comments on him. That was my first, but I haven't actually, up to now, still have not watched the full video. I am planning to do that, but I have put the transcript of the whole video into ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is speaking on the whole video, not just the section that I've watched, if that makes sense. But anyway, to the point where I watched, this was my opinion at that point. I'm really trying to learn lately that we should get to know people before making strong commentary about them. That's why this video made me a little sad. James honestly seems really sweet if you actually take the time to understand him. And in the end of the day, he's allowed to spend or reserve his money however he chooses to. As a customer of his business, I also feel like he genuinely put in the work to build the life that he has got. As a fellow creator, I think people underestimate how much emotional pressure and consistency it takes to build a platform that can sustain your life, especially from a young age. I literally am 25 and I'm still not making money from social media, even though like I have got a big following over on TikTok, or like not big as in big like James Charles or whatever, but like I really think it is so much time that you put in before you actually get something back. Like, I really don't think it's, oh, you're famous and that's like, I really think so much time went into it before he got to where he was. Anyway, that kind of success usually comes with sacrifices that people never see. I also think that it's hard to compare advantages and disadvantages between people because everyone's life is complicated in different ways. I love your content. I love content that educates people about society and important issues, but it does make me sad when a fellow YouTuber or just another human being becomes the example. Anyway, girl, I'm so excited to see your future work. This one just hit a sensitive spot for me. I think Kiki's like YouTube channel is amazing because it helps me to learn about social like moral values, I guess you would call them, like basically what is acceptable socially in today's day and age. Her channel is so useful for that, but I do think like I want to take her commentary and her videos because her like she's so on top of it, knowing what's happening in the world, but I do want to learn from what is being said and kind of ask ChatGPT to get both sides of the story to give me the accurate lesson to learn from it. Because I think being human, we all have got human bias. So the way we say things or the way we present certain topics kind of like it changes, like it does change the idea of the topic, because it is really difficult to be completely neutral as a human. So ChatGPT being a chatbot, like, is very neutral and has got no reason to pick a side. So I really find that this helps me to learn a lot. Okay, so I've put the full transcript into ChatGPT and I've asked, let's talk about this and what points are valid and what points are not. Deeply study the character of James Charles as well as Kiki Chanel to thoroughly understand perspectives and what was meant by words that were said. Okay, let's play that section.
This is actually a really interesting situation to analyze because there are multiple layers happening at once. One, what James Charles literally said. Two, the emotional social meaning behind it. Three, the framing used by Kiki Chanel. Four, influencer culture as a whole. Four, parasocial relationships. Five, wealth psychology. Six, internet outrage dynamics. Seven, and whether criticism became analysis or dehumanization. And honestly, both sides make some valid points, but both also cross lines in different ways. The transcript you uploaded shows very clearly that this wasn't just one bad sentence. It became a cascading emotional spiral from both creator and commentator. James Charles as a character, image group, Caro image, you have to separate James the person versus James the internet persona / business. Those are not always the same thing. James built his entire career extremely young. He essentially went teenager, viral beauty creator, millionaire celebrity, brand owner, constant cancellation cycles, hyper public scrutiny. That creates a very distorted worldview over time. A huge point Kiki makes repeatedly is, open quote, he has never lived in the real world, close quote. That criticism is partially valid. James did not go through traditional workplaces, normal hiring processes, financial instability in adulthood, corporate hierarchies, the ordinary employment systems. That absolutely affects empathy calibration. But Kiki oversimplifies it slightly because influencer life is not fake work. It is psychologically intense, hyper-public, and financially volatile, just in a very abnormal way. The issue is, James often speaks as though his experience translates universally. That's where people react negatively. What James was actually trying to say. This matters a lot. His core argument was not, open quote, poor people deserve suffering, close quote. His actual underlying point was closer to, open quote, I receive endless copy-paste messages from strangers asking for money, and it feels transactional, manipulative, and emotionally exhausting, close quote. That feeling is actually understandable. A lot of wealthy creators experience constant requests, emotional manipulation, guilt baiting, fake emergencies, scams, parasocial entitlement. And he is correct that having money does not automatically make someone responsible for strangers financially. That point is valid. This section especially reveals his actual emotional trigger. Open quote, why would I help you? You don't follow me. You've never supported me. Close quote. People interpreted that as was, open quote, you have no relationship with me whatsoever, yet you feel entitled to access me personally. Close quote. That's a very different emotional framing. And honestly, many ordinary people would react similarly if strangers constantly demanded money from them daily. Where James went wrong. This is where Kiki's criticism becomes very valid. James made 3 massive mistakes. 1, public humiliation. He could have ignored the DM, blocked the user, privately vented, discussed influencer boundaries generally. Instead, he mocked someone publicly, laughed at them, used sarcasm, escalated emotionally. That changes everything, especially lines like, open quote, you're lazy. Welcome to the real world, close quote. Those statements carry moral judgment, and because he doesn't live paycheck to paycheck, it sounded profoundly tone deaf. Number 2, assuming character from one message. This is Kiki's strongest argument. James repeatedly assumed laziness, entitlement, lack of effort, lack of work ethic, but he had 0 evidence. Kiki is correct here. The person could have also applied for jobs, contacted charities, contacted families, sent 100 applications, been desperate. James projected motives onto them. That's unfair. Resentment. This is huge. Modern audiences are under inflation, unemployment, housing crises, burnout, wage stagnation. Meanwhile, influencers display luxury, PR packages, vacations, consumption, expensive lifestyles. So when a millionaire says, open quote, just get another job, close quote, people hear, open quote, your suffering is your fault, close quote, even if that wasn't his intention. Where Kiki Chanel is very accurate, image group layout carousel, Aspect ratio 16:9. Image his was genuinely insightful. James markets intimacy constantly. I love you guys, family, community, casual spam account style, FaceTime style content, but then reacts angrily when audiences behave relationally. That contradiction is real. Influencers often want emotional closeness, loyalty, support, engagement, purchases, without the emotional burden of reciprocity. Kiki identifies that correctly. Wealth separation changes empathy. Also true. Extreme wealth does alter perspective, especially when someone becomes famous before fully forming adult identity. James genuinely sounded shocked that losing a job for 1 week could create desperation. That reveals distance from ordinary economic reality. The consumer critique. This is partially true and very important. James repeatedly referenced follows, purchases, support, engagement, which unintentionally reduced human worth to audience value. That's why people recoiled emotionally, because it sounded like, open quote, why help someone who gives me nothing? Close quote, even if that wasn't consciously his belief. Where Kiki goes too far. This is important too. Kiki stops analyzing behavior and starts psychoanalyzing character. She repeatedly calls him evil, rotten, monster, villain, incapable of empathy. That becomes emotionally satisfying commentary rather than objective analysis. And commentary culture profits from escalation. That matters because Kiki also benefits financially from outrage narratives. That doesn't make her wrong, but it does shape tone and framing. The biggest hidden truth here. The internet is collapsing the boundary between celebrity, customer service, friendship, activism, therapy, charity. And nobody knows the rules anymore. Audiences feel, open quote, you have abundance while others suffer, close quote. Creators feel, open quote, I am constantly emotionally extracted from, close quote. Both are real. Tashesht, the most important sentence. James said ironically, I think this was the most honest. I just happened to get really lucky, close quote. I was probably the closest in self-awa because success online is skill, timing, algorithm, appearance, personality, networking, luck. Luck. And people get angry when influencers speak as if wealth is purely moral superiority or work ethic. Was the apology genuine? Probably partially. I think the back is real. Jackie Aina's criticism hit harder because she's a respected peer. James realized how bad it looked, and he likely did feel embarrassed afterward. Multiple things can be true simultaneously. Did PR pressure influence him? Absolutely. Did he also realize? Probably yes. Humans are rarely purely manipulative or purely sincere. Final balanced assessment. Valid points James made. Strangers are not entitled to influencer money. Creators receive manipulative scam messages constantly. Effort and initiative matter. Copy-paste requests can feel emotionally transactional. Wealth does not automatically create obligation. Invalid problematic points. Assuming laziness, mocking desperation, public humiliation, class blindness, reducing worth to support, treating unemployment casually. Valid points Kiki made. James sounded privileged and detached. He publicly shamed someone. Parasocial branding creates contradictions. Influencers often commodify audiences. He assumed bad intent unfairly. Weak problematic points from Kiki. Over-pathologizing, framing him as inherently evil, projecting motives as certainty, escalating outrage for content, sometimes blurring critique into dehumanization. Personally, I think this controversy says more about influencer culture, wealth alienation, parasocial exhaustion, economic anxiety, and internet emotional dynamics than it does about one evil person. But it did expose parts of James' worldview that many people found uncomfortable and revealing.
Okay, so then I have said, please expand the topic in terms of what is actually the way people should act so that I can learn from this. Let's go into that.
This is actually a very wise question because beneath all the drama, there are real life lessons about dignity, boundaries, compassion, success, humility, influence, and how to treat people when you have power. And the truth is, both the internet and influencers are often behaving badly at the same time. So let's break down what healthy behavior would actually look like from all sides. Number one, if you are the person asking for help, The reality is, there is nothing shameful about needing help. Life can collapse very quickly. Layoffs, sickness, divorce, accidents, inflation, mental health, children, grief. Humans are supposed to help one another, but there is a healthy and unhealthy way to ask. Healthy ways to ask for help. Be honest without emotional manipulation. Good. Open quote. Hi, I recently lost my job and I'm struggling right now. If you're able to help or share this, I'd appreciate it. Close quote. Not guilt tactics, emotional pressure, entitlement, you owe me, weaponizing sympathy. Respect that no is allowed. This is huge. People can say no, ignore it, not donate, set boundaries. Even wealthy people are allowed boundaries. Compassion does not mean unlimited access. Preserve your dignity. One of the saddest things online is watching people feel they must beg publicly, suffering as trauma dump for survival. That is not healthy for society. Asking for help should not require self-destruction. Number 2, if you are the person receiving requests, this is where James failed. If someone asks for help and you do not want to help, that is okay. What matters is how you respond. Healthy responses to unwanted requests. Option 1, ignore honestly. Most situations should end here. Not every thought needs content. Option 2, decline respectfully. Something like open quote, I'm sorry you're going through this, but I'm unable to help. Close quote, that preserves dignity. Option 3, redirect helpfully. Examples, job resources, charities, advice, encouragement, networking. Even kindness costs nothing. What not to do. Never humiliate vulnerable people publicly. This is one of the biggest moral failures online right now. People use screenshots, reactions, mockery, clapbacks, humiliation content for entertainment. But there is a real human being underneath. Public humiliation is intoxicating because it creates validation, engagement, applause, superiority, but it corrodes character very quickly. Number 3, the real danger of wealth. One reason this controversy hit hard is because it exposed something people deeply fear. Open quote, success can disconnect people from humanity, close quote. And unfortunately, sometimes it does. Not always maliciously, just gradually. How wealth quietly changes people. When you become successful, people praise you constantly. People stop correcting you, inconvenience disappears, you stop seeing ordinary struggle daily, your environment changes, your reference point changes. Normal hardship can begin to feel abstract instead of real. That's why humility is so important. Healthy wealth mindset. A healthy, successful person remembers, open quote, my success is not proof I am morally superior, close quote. This is one of the most important lessons in life. Success is effort, yes, discipline, yes, wisdom, sometimes, but also timing, opportunity, genetics, upbringing, luck, connections, health, support systems. People become dangerous when they think, open quote, I succeeded, therefore struggling people are simply failing morally, close quote. That mindset becomes cruel very quickly. Number 4, the real danger of parasocial relationships. This is another huge lesson. Influencers often create emotional intimacy online. Family, community, besties, I love you guys, FaceTime style content. But audiences sometimes forget. They do not actually know that person. That confusion creates pain on both sides. Healthy audience behavior. Healthy viewers should enjoy creators, learn from creators, support creators if they want, but not emotionally depend on creators. Influencers are not therapists, saviors, parents, personal banks, emotional replacements. Healthy influencer behavior. Influencers should also remember their audience is made of actual humans, not numbers, consumers, engagement, wallets, statistics. The second you stop seeing humanity in ordinary people, you start becoming spiritually dangerous. Number 5, the internet rewards bad character. This is maybe the deepest issue here. The internet rewards outrage, humiliation, arrogance, mockery, ego, superiority, cruelty disguised as honesty. Both James and commentary culture got rewarded here. Views, engagement, discourse, virality, probably this. James was correct that strangers are not entitled to his money. Influencers receive manipulative requests. Boundaries matter. But James was wrong because he mocked suffering, assumed character, humiliated someone, lacked compassion, and forgot how powerful his platform is. And the internet was also wrong in some ways because people escalated him into a cartoon villain, Outrage became entertainment. People projected all influencer resentment onto one situation, and some commentary became dehumanizing too. The deepest lesson, the real lesson is this, open quote, never let success remove tenderness from your heart, close quote, and open quote, never let suffering make you entitled to other people, close quote. Those two truths need to exist together. That balance is maturity.
Okay. I loved that. Let's see. I've got so many questions to expand this topic, but I want to be smart about it in the sense of I don't want to make an example of someone, because that's literally the point that I was making, is we shouldn't make examples of other people. But I think this was honestly such a good way for me to learn. That's what I wanted to search. I remember just now. I love learning about like things that are socially okay. So I'm going to say let's expand by discussing socially acceptable and unacceptable like things, I guess, in 2026, while still staying true to Christianity, because that's my religion. So that is obviously an important part that I want to add, because I love learning life lessons, but I'm also aware that a lot of things that are deemed okay or not okay in today's day and age don't really align well with my religion sometimes, or at least that's what I think, but this is what I want to learn, if that makes any sense. For what it's worth, I love James Charles's brand. The painted makeup is so good. I bought 2 palettes, like the colorful, well, I bought both palettes, the colorful one and then the neutral nudes one, like it's like an autumn and a summer to me. But I genuinely love those 2 makeup palettes so much. And I think he has put a lot of work into that. So for what it's worth, I think his success definitely could not have been easy to grow. But even like Kiki being so aware of what is socially acceptable, and not like it takes so much time and energy to actually study what is okay in the world. So for her to have got such good points, that is amazing. I really hope that James and everyone affected by this is okay, in the sense of like, I think James is getting so much backlash, and how we were saying that people are still human, and James is living and so detached, and how rude, how cruel. James, well, like James is also a human being, and he's also got feelings, and I genuinely don't think he realized where he went wrong until he apologized. And I'm like that, where I won't say sorry until I feel sorry, because I want to actually learn through my mistakes. Like, I don't want to just say sorry just to like people please, or like when I say sorry, I genuinely mean I'm so sorry. So I think that's like, I don't know the whole situation. I wouldn't know if what I think is the truth, but I really think that he did not mean this in a cruel way. And I really think James built his own success. From what I've seen, it doesn't seem like success just fell on his plate. Like, building such a successful YouTube channel, he's got music as well. Like, he's a singer. What do you mean? Like, he's got so many things. He's got his own makeup brand. He's got so many things that he does in order to have the financial like position that he's got. Like, he didn't just become rich one day. do understand that consumers are the ones that are making him rich, but that's also for every single rich person out there. Like, humans made money, humans make money happen. And I think James has spent a lot of time understanding how he can make money and be successful. And I think his response, yes, I think it was a very emotional response, but I think he didn't mean to make an example of that person. I think he literally like meant to say like, why would a person that has never followed me, like basically this person knows about James Charles. They've heard about him before and they know he's famous. Otherwise they wouldn't have reached out to him. But this person did not follow him. So it's not a supporter of what he does. And I think like I understand all the side of like the person that got fired and everything, but I think James felt like he has built so much success from his hard work, and he is so appreciative of the people that were part of that journey. Like, he is so deeply appreciative of the people that support his brand. He does so many giveaways and things. Like, they're so, like, I actually recommend have a look at Painted on TikTok. They like pack the orders and like it's so nice. Like, I really think there's so much thought that goes into everything he does. And I think he didn't mean to offend the person that lost their job. I think it was more so a thing of he so deeply appreciates the people that made his life possible, made his journey possible, that people that just want to take from that without being part of all of that, it offends him in the sense of you only want to be part of the circle when it's relevant to you, but you don't want to be part of the circle when it's not relevant to you. Like, before she lost her job, she didn't follow him. And a follow costs absolutely nothing, but she knew about him. She knew who he was. You know, I think that's what he potentially meant. That's how I understood what he said, but I could be so wrong. Yeah, shame. This is such a great opportunity for me to learn from. And I really hope that in my journey of creating content, I'll have a lot of people that help me to understand where I'm step wrong. I have so many things that I say that are so wrong or so horrible or so like detached from reality, but no one really corrects me on them. People tend to go and gossip behind closed doors, but they won't help you understand, oh, this is not something we say. And I think that is definitely something we can learn from this, that when we really love people and when we really, really appreciate their presence in our lives, we should help them to understand how they can improve, but we should help them in a way that we don't offend them and we actually build their character rather than break it down. I think that would be so good for this world. Anyway, so I'll discuss the socially acceptable and unacceptable things in 2026 while still staying true to Christianity. So that's the next chat we are starting.
This is a really important conversation to have because a lot of people in 2026 feel trapped between two extremes. Extreme one, accept literally everything or you're hateful. Extreme two, become harsh, prideful, judgmental, fearful, and angry in the name of truth. Christianity is actually supposed to walk a much narrower path. Truth without cruelty, compassion without compromise, conviction without arrogance, humility without cowardice. And honestly, modern culture struggles deeply with balance. First, socially acceptable. One of the biggest mistakes modern society makes is assuming, open quote, if society approves it, it must be okay, close quote. Historically, society has approved greed, slavery, vanity, exploitation, cruelty, gossip, sexual exploitation, public humiliation, idol worship, corruption. Popularity has never been a reliable moral compass. As Christians, the standard is not, open quote, what gets applause, close quote. It's, open quote, what produces truth, love, wisdom, humility, holiness, and life, close quote. But Christianity also is not superiority, controlling others, rage, obsession with other people's sin, lack of empathy, Self-righteousness, performative morality. A lot of Christians accidentally become Pharisee-like, externally moral but internally cold. Jesus was actually hardest on hypocrisy, pride, exploitation, fake holiness, lovelessness. Have socially acceptable things in 2026 that Christianity should question. 1. Public humiliation culture. Image. Modern culture loves humiliation. Examples: cancellation mobs, reaction content, exposing people, clapbacks, mocking strangers, recording people publicly, rage bait. Society calls it accountability, entertainment, honesty, keeping it real. But much of it is actually pride, cruelty, vengeance, self-exaltation. Christianity should challenge that. Not because consequences are wrong, but because dehumanization is dangerous. Number 2, identity becoming an idol. Modern culture increasingly teaches, open quote, your deepest feelings are your identity, close quote. Christianity teaches, open quote, humans are more than impulses, desires, emotions, labels, or social tribes, close quote. This applies to politics, sexuality, wealth, aesthetics, internet personas, activism, even motherhood sometimes, success, victimhood, mental health labels. Anything can become an idol if it replaces God, wisdom, humility, truth, or identity rooted in Christ. Number 3, hyperconsumerism. Modern culture normalizes constant shopping, overconsumption, luxury obsession, flex culture, endless aesthetics, comparison, influencer lifestyles. Christianity should deeply question, open quote, am I consuming because I'm empty? Close quote. That doesn't mean beauty is evil, fashion is evil, nice things are evil. But obsession with image can quietly hollow people out spiritually. Number 4, validation addiction. 2026 culture runs on likes, views, attention, virality, external validation. People increasingly ask, open quote, how do I appear? Instead of, who am I becoming? Close quote. That is spiritually dangerous because eventually performance replaces authenticity. 5, casual cruelty disguised as honesty. This is huge right now. People say it is, but often it's lack of self-control, emotional impulsiveness, superiority, ego, cruelty. Christian truth is supposed to be spoken with gentleness, wisdom, discernment, timing, humility. Truth without love becomes brutality. Love without truth becomes deception. Things Christians need to be careful about too. This is very important because Christians are not automatically morally safe just because they oppose culture. 1, pride disguised as righteousness. This is danger. People can become addicted to feeling morally correct, feeling set apart, feeling smarter than society, feeling spiritually superior. That becomes dangerous fast. The moment you stop seeing sinners as humans needing grace, you begin drifting away from Christ's actual heart. Number 2, fear-based living. Some Christians become consumed by culture wars, panic, conspiracies, outrage, doom. But Christianity is not supposed to produce paranoia, bitterness, constant rage. A fearful Christian often becomes spiritually ineffective. Number 3, using Christianity to control people. Faith should transform hearts, not become a weapon for domination. Some Christians become obsessed with controlling behavior externally, policing others, forcing morality culturally.
I'm gonna have to go.